Hey there, thanks so much for joining me today. Do you know why April of any given year is my favorite month of the year? It's because it's New Year's. That's why. According to numerology, if you've been feeling like 2025 didn't really start on January 1st, you're not wrong. There's a juicy little numerology secret that says April 1st is when your personal year energy really kicks into gear. That's the truth. So this is when the magic really begins to happen is April 1st. So in numerology, the personal year cycle aligns more closely with your birth date, not the calendar year. Okay. So that's why the first 3 months of the year, so that would be January, February, and March, often feel like a dress rehearsal or a bit of a warm up to what's coming up, okay, to what's coming up ahead for you. So, coming into April, which is where we're at right now, you're finally running the race in your new shoes, right? And it feels so much better. You're finally feeling an alignment, right? Because before you had sort of one foot in last year and you have one foot in this year, and it's kind of like, oh, I don't know where to go, right? But now you've got the clarity that you're looking for because you're finally into the energy of your personal year. That is good news. Okay. So if you're new here, welcome. Thanks so much for joining me today. My name is Ann Perry, and I am a numerologist who is passionate about teaching you simple stuff that will really help to guide you in your life and give you some profound insights so that you can navigate every single day with more clarity. So I want to share with you how to figure out your personal year number. Pretty simple. Many of you already know how to do this, but for those of you who don't, you're simply going to add your birth month to your birthday to the current universal year. So let's give you an example. For example, if you were born on July 15th, we know that July is the seventh month. So we're going to add 7 plus the day. So 7 plus 1 plus 5. Now add that to the universal year plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, and that's going to add up to 22, which reduces to a 4. 2 and 2 equal 4. All right, so this means that a person who was born on July the 15th is actually in a 4 personal year. So that number gives you your theme, if you will, for the year ahead of you, which is what we're going to talk about in a minute. I'm going to go through all the years from 1 to 9 and how you can expect to feel during the month of April moving forward throughout the year. But whether it's about new beginnings, building, healing, letting go, whatever it is, April turns the volume up. It really cranks the volume up on whatever the theme is for your year. So 2025, we know, is a 9 universal year, and that implies that it's going to bring big energy. Big energy. Do I need to repeat that? Around completion, compassion, empathy, spiritual cleanup. So now, no matter which personal year that you're in, you're also riding a collective wave of release and transformation. This is a hugely transformational year for all of us. Okay. So, how do you use all this energy? How do you make it, to your advantage, take it to your advantage? Well, first of all, you want to stop trying to force things in the first quarter of the year. Okay. It's a futile effort. Forget about it, right? Until you actually settle into April, there's no point in really pushing the envelope. April is finally your green light. Your personal year is effectively on. Okay. So, second of all, we want you to think bigger, right? The 9 universal year is asking you to zoom out, okay, make some room and wrap up any cycles that are done. Done. Okay. Take a look at what needs to be released. Pair that with your personal year theme, and you've got a winning combination for really serious personal evolution this year. So, for example, let's take a look at, if you were in a 4 personal year, that's related to your work, okay, your vocation, what you do every day for your living. And now you're under that umbrella influence of the universal year of 9, which is about completion. So, it's not rocket science, guys. This is a time when you might be considering leaving your job, ending the work that you're doing. So you might be looking to end your work in favor of starting something new. Okay. Let's say you're in a 5 personal year with a 9 universal influence. You may experience a very unexpected ending, okay? Because the 5, your personal year of 5, is about change and the unexpected, and the 9 is about the ending. It's always for good stuff, right? Don't panic. If you are in that kind of a lineup, don't panic because the endings are always making room, creating space for something better, for something new. So if things have been feeling just a little bit slow, confusing, or like they haven't really started yet, just know that you're right on track, okay? Many of us are feeling that way as well. So April is your energetic new year. Happy New Year, okay? And with the 9 universal year behind you, there's huge support for letting go of the old baggage, and leaning into who you're really becoming. Remember, the influence of the nine is about transformation, and it's transformation related to your personal year. So if it's a personal year of two, then there's going to be transformation related to relationships. If it's a four, it's transformation related to your work, right? If it's a seven, it's transformation related to your spiritual experiences. You get the idea. And again, we're going to talk about that here in a second. So let's explore now what each personal year feels like in April. So April is when the theme gets real, the heat turns up, and you might start to feel it in your body, in your mood, or even your relationships. You're completely on target and you are cooking with gas right now. All right. So if you happen to be in a one personal year, boom. Okay. This April hits like a starting gun. Okay. Your time to plant some seeds, make some bold moves, step forward. You want to start the thing that you've been resisting, the thing that you've kind of been dancing around the mark and you've been resisting since January. Don't wait for permission. Just do it, right? Just do it. Maybe the nine influence is saying I have to resist feeling stuck all the time, right? I have to resist taking a chance and being a leader. I have to end that, okay, in favor of stepping forward. The two personal year, you can expect a bit of a softer shift in energy, right? You work really hard in your year of one, you're kind of putting it all together and, metal to the pedal, as they say. But when you come into the two personal year, this is when things kind of roll back a little bit, and it's going to cause you to take a step back, rest, and restore. This is a year of building trust, nurturing connections and relationships, and being okay with slow momentum. It's about being very patient. This is not, we're turned right on as we were in the year of one. This is more of a laid back kind of an energy. So April's going to bring a lot more clarity on who and what is worth your energy, especially as it relates to relationships. The three personal year, this is when the creative juices start to really flow. Suddenly, you want to make stuff, you want to express yourself, you want to dance a little more, put on the music. April gives you permission to stop editing your life and start really sharing, right? It's about stepping into your creative potential and sharing that creative potential with others. If you're in your four personal year, it's time to get grounded. Last year, not so much. You weren't so grounded because you're having too much fun creating stuff. The year four, it's time to get to work. So April delivers structure and routine and an opportunity to make a step-by-step plan. You might even have a few wake-up calls in a year of four. So it's all about setting a new foundation. You've heard me say it before. I'll say it again. 4 posts in the ground. Okay, that's building your foundation. So that's where your focus has to be. It's about creating systems and schedules and taking your goals really seriously. You're at the halfway mark through the 9 year cycle, right? So we want to put our best foot forward in our personal year of four. Now, on a little side note, the personal year of four often feels really stuck, especially it feels a little heavy and you may feel very stuck, especially, where that nine influence is in there, something that you're trying to end, right? Might be taking its time. You might get a little bit frustrated, but just give it your attention and focus in a positive way. Anything you give your energy, attention, and focus to is going to get bigger. Your ability to focus in your personal year of four is the biggest it's going to get. Okay, so make sure you're focusing on what you want to achieve rather than where you're not at. If you're missing the mark or whatever, don't focus on that. Just focus on how far you've come. When you come into that five personal year, buckle up your seatbelts, right? April turns up the volume, turns up the heat on change, unexpected events, movement, maybe a little bit of chaos, but it's always in a good way, right? Got to shake things up every now and again. Last year was a little stifling. This year is like, you feel your freedom. So yes, to adventure, do it. Get out there. I mean, take some calculated risks. Remember, last year you were planning things. Do the same this year. Plan to have an adventure. Plan to experience something. Plan for change. When you come into the sixth personal year, it's not so much about your freedom that you're looking for. The spotlight is now going to shift to your home, to your family, and your inner circle. So April might highlight what needs a little bit more nurturing. You may feel like you're torn in a few different directions because everybody wants a piece of you in a personal year of six. That nine influence might be saying, hey, maybe you've been treated like a doormat within your family. The nine is saying, let's put an end to that. okay? Or you're in a personal year of 6 with the 9 influence saying, this place doesn't suit us anymore. We've got to consider leaving here. It's an ending to living in this home. When you get into your 7 personal year, you may feel called inward because last year it was all about being there for everybody. It's a whole responsibility piece in the year of 6. But the year of 7 says, whoa, slow down, slow it all down here. I want to go inside. I want to go into my cave. I want to be left alone for a while. April brings in the urge to reflect, to meditate, to really explore what the last 6 years have been all about. So it might ask you to retreat a little bit. You need to trust it, right? The 7 is all about trust. The world can wait, but your soul has something to say. So you need to step back and allow the soul to speak to you. Okay. So you know what your next move is, because when you come into your 8 personal year, this is about manifestation. This is about creating whatever it is you were thinking about last year. So the power moves in, your own personal power. You start stepping into that. And April sets the stage for ambition, for visibility, for leadership, for really creating something amazing. It might be a focus on your money. It might be a focus on your own personal power and authority. It might be you saying, that's it. The buck stops here, and here's the line in the sand. I don't want you crossing it. I want you to respect my boundaries. So own your authority. And yeah, money themes still do show up here too. And there's no question about that. But sometimes it's about the relationship that you have with money. Are you getting paid your worth? Something to think about. And last but not least, we come into our 9 personal year. That wraps up the 9-year cycle. April may bring some emotional waves, old stuff resurfacing for releasing. It's a time to clear and forgive and wrap things up with grace. It's about meeting people where they're at, losing the judgment. Okay, it's not about judgment. It's about acceptance. And if you're in a 9 personal year, under the umbrella of the 9 universal year, in some respects, this might be the easier one for you to go through than it is for everybody else because it's consistent, right? It's what I call a 9 on a 9. So this is really helping you to clearly see what is not in your best interest, what you've outgrown, what you no longer need to hang on to. Because remember, you're clearing things out in your year of 9, creating space. You're telling the universe, look at me, I'm clearing this out. I'm getting rid of this relationship that's not working. I'm getting rid of all this stuff in my house I don't need anymore. I'm releasing the limiting beliefs I've had for so long. And this is good news because what you're basically telling the universe is, I'm ready for something new. I just created the space for it. Bring it, right? Okay. So if this has landed with you, if you like it, I really appreciate it if you would hit subscribe, the like button, share it with anybody who may benefit. I really appreciate it. But I'd love it if you would comment on, what personal year you're in and how you're actually feeling in April, right? What's different for you in April? And if you want to learn more about the cycles that are affecting you right now, you may want to consider exploring your chart through a reading with me where we look at all of the cycles. We look at the short term, the long term, the pinnacles. We look at the life path periods. We look at the essences. We look at everything to make sure that you really understand how you can harness the best of it moving forward in 2025. The readings right now are 50% off, but only until the end of April 2025. So I really hope that you'll give me the opportunity to set you up for success in 2025. But for now, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. And I just know that you are going to create your best month ever. Take care. Bye for now.